World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day to all of our listeners here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is World News in 5 and I'm your host, Steph Vicente. The United States is considering a request by Ukraine for long-range Tomahawk missiles. That's according to U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. However, Vance added that U.S. President Donald Trump would be making the final determination on the matter. The BBC reported that Kiev has long been calling for its Western partners to provide it with weapons that could hit major Russian cities far from the front line, arguing that they would help Ukraine seriously weaken Russia's military industry and bring the war to an end. In response, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov played down Vance's suggestion, saying there was no panacea that can change the situation on the front for the Kiev regime. Peskov added that whether it's Tomahawks or other missiles, they won't be able to change the dynamic. In other news, the Qatari Foreign Ministry issued a statement confirming that Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman bin Jassim Al Thani has received a phone call from the United States and Israeli leaders in which his Israeli counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu apologized for a strike in the capital Doha this month, which targeted a Hamas delegation. Al Jazeera reported that Prime Minister Netanyahu apologized for killing a Qatari national in the attack and for violating Qatar's sovereignty. The Israeli leader then pledged not to launch a similar attack in the future. Mohammed welcomed the guarantees provided and expressed his country's readiness to resume mediation efforts to bring an end to the violence in the Gaza Strip. And finally, United States President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have agreed to a plan to end the war in Gaza, but it remains unclear whether Hamas will accept the terms. AP News reported that President Trump's plan has been presented to Hamas, which is reviewing it in good faith. It is noted that he laid out a 20-point plan for ending the Israel-Hamas war and establishing a post-war Gaza governance. Trump's plan would also establish a temporary governing board that would be headed by Trump and include former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. The plan does not require people to leave Gaza and calls for the war to end immediately if both sides accept it. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.